funneling what we all are doing together through the World of Ability Podcast Network. So the Compassionate Citizens podcast, again, is inspired through a friend of ours out of the Chicagoland, Illinois area, Norland Dimmitt. We met Norland through another friend that comes us through the Mutual Aid Network. That is Helen Stuckey Risden Weaver. And so she is the one that linked us to Norland. And through that, we learned about the Compassionate Citizens Project. And as it is a history inspired through faith communities in response to the USA politics. And so I think it's pretty obvious what it's all about, the Compassionate Citizens Project, to take a look at, how we use our right to vote and our capacity as citizens and to interact as Americans, maybe a little bit more compassionately than we have in the last handful of years and decade of time in USA politics. And so I think it's a great opportunity and a great allegiance to our great nation. It seems pretty patriotic to me to suggest that we just might imbibe in compassion and check in as Americans what our own personal capacity is to build more compassion into our election process, our political seasons, and just enjoying what we have available to us through government and being constituents of our federal work here in the 50 United States of America. And so that just is the conversation start and the inspiration. So from there, we can go over to obviously where compassion finds its way into nonprofits, the altruistic works of community organizing and community developments and volunteering and being of service, all the service organizations, fraternal clubs, so on and so forth. And then there's all the fun things in life, the hobbies, pastime, sports, leisure activities, travel, entertainment, film, TV, radio, all these fun things that we can do in life, and to look at how compassionate are we to open up that space that we enjoy, and how well do we welcome in others to do what we do. And then the education around all this in our educational systems, to look at in the knowledge commons of anything we can learn on planet Earth and in our country. How are we doing in being custodians of information and sharing the knowledge that we have, doing skills sharing and stuff like that? All of these things are a little bit of a background that we lay to help people participate in this, the Compassionate Citizens Podcast. And now we have one of our regular contributors here, Marianne Ambrose, known as Marianne Waikiki. And Marianne gets that nickname, Marianne Waikiki, obviously, because she's from Waikiki. But apparently that was coined through the community of people who are deaf or hard of hearing. So lots of stories told here, a lot of personal contributions. And Marianne is so gracious to be volunteer interpreter over at the Happy Neighborhood Project with our Zoom meetings and doing sign language interpretation for our free Happy Business networking sessions available 75 times a week with other meetings. But the HMP ability session is once a week in Western World Time. It's on Thursdays, and that falls at 2:00 Central, 3:00 Eastern every Thursday is HMP ability. And Marianne does a lot of wonderful work in terms of environmental awareness and awareness within the deaf and hard of hearing community, and teaching us simple building blocks on sign language, and giving us a lot of awareness with October being something of what I know, trying to remember what Marianne says, but it's basically anti-bullying month or anti-bullying awareness month here in October. So Marianne, how are you doing in settling in? You want a little bit more time? You ready to jump in here and let's get to fighting all the bullies out there? What do you think?
Well, that I am doing. Well, thank you for what a wonderful introduction, Kurt. And so happy to be here. I'm Marianne of Waikiki. That's right. It's my sign language name and book author name, Kurt. And I'm the creator of the Acts of Kindness series. The books are written for animation movies with sign language characters, with soundtrack by Lucy Lynch in the Perfect Way, with 200 folk man as puppets. And I just got a email from Apple as a developer that my 1-year membership is going to be up for renewal. So I've been working on this actually for a year now, in regards that the books have been done, but I've got the app games. So it feels real good. Not only am I an author, I'm an Apple game developer, Kurt. And October is anti-bullying month. And we are working on a flyer as we speak with my amazing team in Pakistan, Fiverr graphics, of uploading my second novel that's written for an animation movie, Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully, and featuring Harry the Hard of Hearing Rabbit, which was my deaf friend over here in Hawaii that I signed for over a decade. And I'm Chelsea the Courageous Sign Language Chicken, and we have Eve the Finger Spelling Bumblebee. I'm just giving you a little peek at you here because we've been working really hard over the last year since we weren't sailing around to the Hawaiian Islands to meet with the schools to do book signing. And last year, I met Leon McLaughlin, who is behind me here, and he is the founder of Clean Water Foundation, and he's been a guest on our show too a couple of months ago. Well, I met Leon over here, and I was going to be sailing around the island, so we kind of put a little thing together, and he actually offered to bring me over last Memorial weekend to the Jimmy Buffett concert with using 2,000 of my books as part of a ticket package. And it was going to be a fundraiser for relief, for hurricane relief for the Bahamas. So I was really excited to do that. However, when I came back from sailing in February, Valentine's Day, we had our COVID shutdown. So being below deck, I've been very creative over in the last year. And again, Apple just notified me that look what you've done in the last year. I think I got about 10 app games now. And so excited and trademarking with Dr. Liddy on a federal level now. So happy to have all this accomplished. And back to anti-bullying month, Leon McLaughlin is actually flying over here this Thursday in Honolulu for several days. And we have meetings to be on HNP ability and nonprofits in the future. And he is also going to be joining us for the Global Happiness Summit. So we have set up a hotel over staycation, which I'm really excited. It used to be right in front of my the sailboat where I lived in my marina. So we'll have a nice place to visit. We're going to set up the laptop. We're going to be on Global Happiness Summit. And we want to encourage everyone that we meet and everybody who I'm talking to in this next week to please contact me. We're going to set up time so that we can talk to Leon one-on-one. He has raised millions of dollars to bring worldwide filters to Peru and India, and PPE, but that's some sort of equipment for personalized water filters. Amazing work that this man has done. It's called Clean Water Foundation. He's going to be joining me. He'll be flying in Thursday night. We'll be at the Modern Hotel in Waikiki, Hawaii, and we're setting up a little home office, a little happy home staycation office, Happy Neighborhood Projects. Invited some Department of Education friends down to come down and talk story with us, see what we can do to bring clean water filters to the Hawaiian Island schools. And also I'm taking him out to a couple of homeowners so that he can set up home installations out of their garage so that we can have clean water throughout their whole house, to their laundry, to everything. And this guy's amazing. His story too, he's on podcasts. He was a shoe shiner and he met attorneys and had this idea for filters and created it. He's also met with Bill Gates from Seattle. This guy is amazing. So I'm really excited that he's going to be here this week. And so much is happening. So I'm preparing, my luggage, the books, Zoom calls, and flyers and virtual flyers. So again, thank you so much for having me here, Emily and Kurt. It's anti-bullying month. And again, Happy Neighborhood Ability on this Thursday, noon Pacific time. And Friday is the Global Happiness Summit. So it is starting at 7 in the morning for me here in Hawaii. So the time zones are different there, but I'll let you guys tell what time zone that's at and let you guys introduce yourself of where you are in Happy Neighborhood Projects as a co-host. Aloha, I'm Marianne of Waikiki, and I'm launching Rabbit Acts of Kindness No Bully to Amazon. And I just got the cover, and guess what? The rainbows match. So I'm so excited. So over here in Hawaii, somewhere over the rainbow, dreams really do come true. Back to you, Kurt.
Kurt will be back.
Kurt has sent me
Yeah, Kurt will be back shortly
go
here.
ahead, Emily, you want to host it?
Yeah, Kurt will be back shortly here. But we have Mark Morrison from California joining us. How's everything with you, Mark?
Everything is really good. It's really very busy. Mary and I only got to hear a little part of it because I'm late, but I was probably hanging on to the wrong email to sign on here, but that's my fault. Maybe I should learn how to do a social media course and how to click the right way, but I'm very happy for you. I'm very proud. Your background is beautiful. I want to tell you that I met this participant on the Wisconsin H&P this morning, and I'm not going to tell you really what it is now, but I want to hook her up with you. She's some kind of a worker helping injured people, and she may need to talk to you. There may be a disability involved, so I want her to connect with you, if that's okay. I want to do a little bit of research on it, and that's about really all I can say to you right now.
Sure. This week I'm committed with Leon, but definitely yes. You can send my email or information, and love to talk to her. This is what Happy Neighborhood Projects is all about, right? We're networking, see what we can all do to be of service, how we can benefit everybody and to help everybody. So again, thank you, Edwin, for starting this Happy Neighborhood Projects way back when. And yes, absolutely, let's connect.
Excellent. So I will then send her something to hook her up to the H&P ability.
Yes, please do.
For Thursday afternoon, and then I'll have her get in contact with you directly after that.
Yes.
And I want to see if I can help her when I have more time next week on my own, because it's very exciting. This week, we're coming out with a brand new product in the CBD and non-CBD arena, and it's taken a lot of energy, and especially with the Jewish holidays coming and going, I'm not quite caught up. So I have to be a little bit more organized. And I can probably tell Kurt and or Emily more tomorrow. I'm not sure how much I can say now. But it's good to be here. I usually come here because I want to see smiling, happy faces and people accomplishing a whole lot of stuff, which is what I hear from you every single time I come. Emily, do you have an agenda that you want to do?
Do you or do you do not?
No, not really at the moment, but yeah, we're married. Do you have anything on what Mark just said?
I don't have anything, any good questions on it. I was on my phone when Marianne was talking. I had something and I forgot what it was. But Mark, you've been on here before. You've been on Compassionate Citizens before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I was going to have you, if you haven't, I was just going to have you go briefly into your background, who you are and something like that. But that's just how I take it.
Well,
if you don't want to, that's fine. But
no, I basically now my final career in my professional life is as a CBD advisor consultant. And as you know, CBD is the are medicinal dietary supplements that allow the human immune system to be at its maximum strength, because not everybody is born with the perfect immune system. Those that are very lucky, they can fight off a lot of diseases. They can do whatever they need to do, but not all of us have that. And as we get older, our immune systems get weaker, and it doesn't mesh well for the body. For your information right now, Adam, let's take the example of the child going into adolescence. As you know, male and female, there's no difference in this area. Everybody gets acne, just about everybody. Okay, instead of taking medicines or whatever else, I have products to help them go through their first hormonal change. With other people who have had a bout with cancer for the first time, they go through radiation, they go through chemo, they go through whatever other meds that their doctors and hospitals give them, and that destroys their immune system. The CBD products that I have can build up the immune system, and they get a common cold, they could get pneumonia, they could get the flu. So this helps the body fight back. So that's what CBD is, in short.
You know, that is very good information, because of what we're going through with COVID right now in the country. Even with children is the worst. I don't want to go into COVID detail, but with how you're explaining it, just kind of reminds me of what we're struggling with now in society. And as you know, that is COVID-19.
It may surprise. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It may surprise a lot of people, but actually young children actually have a stronger immune system than older children, than teenagers, than certainly adults. And it's not so much that you would worry about everybody. However, the figures from the government, if you believe them, tell you that children have stronger immune systems than adults. And that's not to say test it out and make them sick. It means to say that they can fight off COVID and less harm comes to them, unless they really get a serious part of it, than it would be for an adult. So the adult would get more sick than their children. So that's really what it is.
That is interesting. To me, that is interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because
children,
because nowadays, the big news story for citizens out there is, how do we keep the children safe in schools? How do we do that? There's no vaccine. There's no vaccine out there as of now that I know of. They're close, but they're close to approval. But as of right now, there is no really FDA approved vaccine out there for children 5 to 11. So this is something that you're talking about CBD oil for you're talking. I'm kind of taking it as you're talking about CBD oil for children and young adults that are compromised. And what about those children that do have COVID? Maybe CBD oil can't heal it right away, but maybe it can help prevent it from happening often, or maybe get a slightly less not severe symptoms of COVID. So I'm just curious, with children like that, how would CBD oil at times help them, even when you're currently fighting COVID for the young kids.
Okay, there is really no direct evidence of CBD curing COVID or cancer or anything else,
Right.
because it is not a medicine. What it is that it's a dietary supplement that is added to somebody's wellness approach to being as maximally healthy as that they can be. So really, that's what it is. It's like you're eating good food instead of eating bad food.
Yeah, trying to.
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but actually, that's the way to understand it.
Yeah.
So
Emily,
Adam,
I'm just trying to keep the conversation going. I know that might have been off topic, but I'm just
Oh,
trying to.
perfectly-
No, but
that's
that-
perfectly okay.
no, that's perfect, Adam, because it leads me into bringing the fact that my Acts of Kindness series are written for animation movies with sign language characters. And sign language is a solution for social spatial distancing worldwide, especially for schools. And everybody can learn the basic finger spelling, alphabet, and numbers 1 through 9 with the Acts of Kindness book series. And not only we take a global topic such as anti-bullying and teach the positive messages of peace, love, happiness, and thanks. We talk about ocean cleanup in my first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness. So with that in mind, I'd like to share what Kurt talks about too, is if you're able to stand up, I want to teach you the basic signs of peace, love, happiness, and thanks for this anti-bullying month. So in sign language, if you can see me, everybody see me okay? You'll put your hands together here. And if you're able to stand up, because it will shift your energies, because we've been talking for a few, almost 20 minutes now, we need to shift our energy. But this is the sign for peace. Everybody do that with me. And then do love, okay, love. Now hug yourself. We need a minimum of 20 hugs a day. And that's just like medicinal medicine too, Mark, right? Hug, love is the highest vibration. When we vibrate high, we attract what we want. When we vibrate low, we attract negativity and disease, and they both can't coexist. So we as humans, again, need a minimum of 20 hugs a day to survive. So hug yourself, pat yourself, thank yourself. I appreciate you. So peace, love, happiness, and now thanks is here from the chin coming out. Thank you. Thank you, or mahalo here in Hawaii. So those are the messages in my book, well, all the books, but of especially Rabbit Acts of Kindness. We want to share peace, love, happiness, and thanks, especially with our friend Outrageous Joy, Chelsea the Courageous Sign Language Chicken, for Harry the Hard of Hearing Rabbit. And behind me is Eve the Finger Spelling Bumblebee, who introduces the 26 letters of the finger spelling ASL alphabet. And not only that, I'm an Apple game developer. And for some of you coming on, I just received a letter from Apple as being a developer that my 1-year membership is coming to play. And so you can go out and play almost up to 10 app games that I have created in the last year for the individual chapters of my Acts of Kindness book series. And again, the books are written for animation movies with sign language characters, with 200 Folkmanis puppets, and soundtrack by Lucy Lynch and The Perfect Wave. So go out and play on this Compassionate Citizens Day. So yes, Adam, sign language is a solution for social spatial distancing, because we're going to be giving all ages of the heart ways to communicate and social spatial distancing.
Hey, so I'd like to bring River in here. River has joined us.
Aloha, River.
Hi, River. River, would you like to kind of introduce yourself and what you do?
Hi.
Hi, River.
I'm out here picking some tomatoes for my lunch, and I just happened to like tap into this. And I thought, oh, I've been wanting to see what this is about. So what I do, and I love that it's all about compassion. I studied nonviolent communication for years and years, and also emotional intelligence. And I think that the more that we can treat each other with dignity and kindness, but really step into and speak from our truth, that we are going to have an amazing world. So what I do is I'm a coach and also a business consultant. I have a master's in organizational development. And I thought something that came up for me in neuroscience. I'm also certified in neuroscience for business leaders from MIT. And one of the things that came up for me about this is a lot of times my clients are up against either toxic work environments, or maybe they're having to have difficult conversations. And I'm always like, this is an opportunity to actually be more whenever there is a conflict, it's actually an opportunity to have increase that relationship, to build trust. And in organizations that have a lot of trust, that they're more innovative, and they're also more creative and more resilient, right? And navigating these hard times, we need that. And in building trust and being more creative, it's really important that we have a lot of our brain is primed for this. And so one of the ways that we can really prime our brain, and it goes back to what you were just saying about hugging yourself, is that we need oxytocin. And so the more oxytocin that we have, the more that our brain is going to be able to build these new neural pathways and have more neuroplasticity. So I love how all these things are interconnected. So that's what I do. Thank you.
Anybody have any thoughts?
All right, very good.
I just wanted to say, River, I do know a child psychiatrist, and they do neurofeedback out of an office, and I met with them several times, and they've actually incorporated my books and the puppets into their waiting room. So amazing work. Love to learn more about what you do in neurofeedback corporate level. So thank you for joining us, River.
Yeah, I actually don't do neurofeedback. I just use neuroscience and evidence-based practices to help organizations and individuals be, actually really create an abundant mindset and to be more resilient. So that just to be clear, but I think it's so important that you are, that all of your stuff is getting out there, because the more that kids can really have more to be more emotionally intelligent and have that awareness, that the better off they are going to be in terms of happier in their life. So excellent work.
Mahalo.
Very good. Very good. All right.
So Emily, tell us about Compassionate Citizens and Prosperity Pathways and our new nonprofit. I want to bring Leon McLaughlin in. I'm going to be meeting with him this weekend again. If anybody wants to talk with him about Clean Water Foundation, bringing filters to your state schools or another country or anything like that, please let us know. But Emily, can you enlighten us a little bit about nonprofit, HNP?
Well, nonprofit just started a couple weeks ago. And we've had a good turnout so far for both weeks. But if anybody is interested in joining us, to please let us know. It's for any and all nonprofits to come together to collaborate with like other nonprofits or businesses to help with their mission and getting what they need and would like to do. Kurt's back.
Yeah, Kurt is back. The question that I would have, and welcome back, Kurt, and I hope everything's okay. What would they collaborate on, Emily? You have not had a chance to watch that one yet. Would they concentrate? Would they collaborate on how to stay in existence because of COVID? Because a lot of them had to shut down because of lack of ability to raise money. Would they collaborate on something like that, or would they collaborate on something else, if you know?
Gary, do you want to say anything on that?
Yeah. So, well, there was a day that Emily in a team meeting thought of this idea about having nonprofits connect in this networking format. So, Emily, you must have some idea in terms of why you pose that. But I tend to say nonprofit work is centered around two basic ingredients. One is money and the other is people. So in nonprofit management, you're always looking at how to make the people side better and how to make the money side better, and to pull that together around your mission. So basically it could easily be a fundraising collaboration. I hear all the time that nonprofits are wishing they had a grant writer, but they don't have the funds to pay a grant writer. So they're looking for a volunteer grant writer. And, that's a little slim pickings on how to find somebody who wants to go through all that work of a grant writer and just do it voluntarily. But there are volunteers out there. So how to find those people running nonprofits want to know. And then in terms of volunteer management, you're in the people business, and to learn about best practices about how to use your volunteer team effectively. There's always stuff to share on that. And so at HMP, the field is wide open. People can get together and collaborate on whatever they want to talk about. And nonprofits need all the help that for-profit enterprises need in terms of how to properly brand, how to, maybe improve communication, software that would help automate things, on and on like that. So let's get you going. Anybody else have any thoughts?
Well, I just wanted to share with you too, because I'm going to be launching another Indiegogo campaign as well as Kickstarter campaign. And I had hired a Fiverr campaign writer, and he did an excellent job. And so some of that funding would allow me to use some of those Indiegogo funds and Kickstarter to hire on a grant writer. So that's another option too. You may be starting small, but you can, if you put that in GoFundMe like that, seeking that you will use it to hire a grant writer. For the bigger picture, it could be something smaller. So for an example, May, we started out with my May is Better Speech and Hearing Month with a campaign of $20,210, which I did not achieve. And that's okay, because other things came my way this last year, Kurt. I got to know you and Emily and Maria Zaney and HNP Ability and Denise and Maria to take my work to meet with the filmmakers of the United Nations and Dr. Liddy. All these ideas blossom more abundantly than I thought by just having that one specific amount of a campaign. All this flourished in the last year. And again, I don't know if you just came on, Apple just contacted me as an Apple game developer. And I'm going to be going on a year that I started this stuff. So not only that, I have the 10 app games. Exciting. So we want to launch for this month to the end of the year is $2021, 2021 still, so that I can continue the app games for the books. So, you know, it just sometimes we got this bigger picture, but then sometimes we got to start smaller or reshift it. And we're coming to the end of the year. And I think we're down to maybe like 80 some days to the end of the year. But we all still can do it. And look at how HNP has grown so much. And all these additional chapters, I mean, from HNP ability to Spanish to Black entrepreneurs. We are just continually growing, and it's attracting so many people with all this amazing talent. And I believe there's a HNP talent I just signed up for. So look out. Okay. So there's so many things that people can do, and networking. And again, thank you, Mark, too. Again, yes, please. That's what we're here for. Happy Neighborhood Projects networking, to put us to meet with these people who can help us and to be of service. And I believe that's my phone here. And I gotta take this, but I'm still involved. Aloha, Marianne of Waikiki. Hello.
So Mark, anything to add to that?
I guess she cut it off when she took the phone call.
I was gonna say, I don't know how this format works, so I apologize. And if I'm interrupting anybody, just tell me to stop. But I was thinking that the way that you described nonprofits was probably the best way that I've ever heard anybody describe nonprofits and their issues, and really being able to optimize social systems, you know, volunteering with money. So that was really, really well said, Kurt. And I like the idea of collaboration, share ideas, not reinventing the wheel with nonprofits. So I can think of a number of people that are either executive directors who have started nonprofits. And so I will send them to the nonprofit. It's a networking meeting, right? Or a collaboration meeting with HMP.
Yeah, it's a regular free happy Zoom networking format, just like the other 75 meetings.
Okay. Okay, great.
Another way that a nonprofit can more than function is if they file within their states certain documents to make them independent and not have to pay taxes or other expenses that any other type of organization would have to pay. Okay, so for example, in California, I'm not sure if it's a 501c3 or 3C. I always get that mixed up, and it's okay. But that allows a nonprofit to raise money for themselves and keep it. In other words, they're not paying taxes to the state and or to the federal government. So they get to keep whatever they raise. And they're more than allowed to put on events, to buy technology, to have events regarding how they're able to stay in existence. And they're allowed to do that. At least that is the way that it is in California. And with the onset of COVID, and even now, those nonprofits are still opening up, but there's a lot of them that went under, which means they went bankrupt and they had to close down because they didn't have a steady cash flow coming in. So I really have to check out the HNP nonprofit and see what they're doing. And Kirk, you and I had a conversation a few weeks ago about a nonprofit, and how if you filed your nonprofit papers, if that is what you want to do, or if that is what you are now, okay, and the money that could be given to you through people working either in a job or in a 1099 situation, and then can donate their money, earmark it for Compassionate Podcast or whatever you want to call it, and then there can be capital coming in to support your efforts. And I believe you had some ideas that you were going to do. I don't know if you did it. I don't know if you're still interested and or open, but it's up to you. And that is really my addition, my addition to the conversation now.
Yeah, we're you know, we are interested in your offer and you know, the mentorship and everything that you put forth that you're ready to respond to. So yeah, we are working on that yet. So yeah, Emily and I, Emily needs to do some follow-ups with me, and you know, we have to get into what I was saying before about nonprofits. There's the element of, you know, people management, being in the people business, and kind of finding the right people at the right place at the right time, and you know, making all that happen. So we appreciate everything that you're offering over to us, Mark. And yeah, and again, the Disability Channel is a for-profit enterprise out of Toronto, Canada. And at the same time, they have a digital ventures program that is funded by the Ontarian government, that Ontarians with disabilities can access the educational platform, which is opening up the wheelhouse of the Disability Channel and, you know, educating in the TV, radio, podcasting, digital production, desktop publishing, advertising, you know, public speaking, all of these things are done through that. And Onward and Upward here in Madison, Wisconsin, is a fiscal agent with the Disability Channel. Because in the USA, we're building the potential service of the Disability Channel through the nonprofit format here in the USA. So that being said, I wanted to ask you, Mark, are you going to be on Clubhouse after this podcast?
I have to admit a little bit of ignorance. I'm not sure what Clubhouse is or where I would access it. You can put the information in the chat and I will try. I'm even going to try and be there for however much time I have for Friday. So it took a whole lot of effort for me to enroll in it or join it, because they rejected my efforts to sign up for 3 times. And I said, if it happens the 4th time, I'm not going to worry about it. Seriously, because it wasn't worth all that time. But I was going to get it there. All right, so it's www.clubhouse.com/, correct? If I read it correctly?
Yeah. So it's basically clubhouse.com. And when you go to the website for clubhouse.com, you can see that there's an app available for your telephone. And when you get on there and set up your profile, you can then find the Happy Neighborhood on there. And there's an event that is starting in about 15 minutes with Edwin and a lot of the, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but between mentors, captains, and co-hosts, I'm expecting there'll probably be about 8 of us from the mentor, co-host, captain realm in that clubhouse. And it's all part of Global Happiness Week. And Global Happiness Week is structured to be the days leading up to the Global Happiness Summit. You know, so it's going to be some more networking and dialogue and, you know, reference to Friday's event. And if you have any difficulty, Mark, connecting to Friday's event, Emily and I can help you with whatever you need so that you're not missing out on the summit.
All right, so far they're telling me I have a receipt. I'm stamped on both sides. It's okay. No, Steve, Ramona, and I have been trying to get me signed up for like 2 or 3 weeks, and all the times they're telling me, oh, well, you know, you've been rejected, or this didn't fit, or that didn't fit. And I'm saying, well, It has to fit this one last time, or else I'm not going to be there, and I really would not care. And I said that to Steve. He said he would tell either Fong or Edwin. I'm saying, you know what, that doesn't matter. I'm there. I'm registered. I thank you, Kurt and Emily. I will take you up on your offer. Just wanted you to know there's been some frustration involved in this, and yes, I was accepted. I don't know. They said Facebook broke down yesterday also. However, I was on Facebook a good part of yesterday. My Facebook page worked and everything was okay. So I'm just wondering what happened. Maybe it's my turn for everything to work. I don't know.
It was actually in the news. They were saying something about it. I don't know what it was, but they did briefly mention something on the news.
Okay, which is fine. I mean, I know that I was there, so I was wondering what they were talking about, but it's okay. But and what I'm working on now, Kurt, is that the company that I'm with, I might have mentioned it on Wisconsin, is that we are looking for a product launch this evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I guess that means it's what, 8 p.m. your time or 9 p.m. Yeah.
8 o'clock. Right?
There's going to be a whole new product coming out, which would be, and this I can say without knowing anymore really, is that it's going to be dealing with weight loss, okay, and health and wellness, and again, completing the human immune system in addition to the weight loss. In the beta testing that was done, people were losing three pounds a week. And people who have tested on it for 4 to 6 weeks, 4 times 3, 6 times 3 is the amount of weight they lost over that period of time with no ill effects, and they were healthy, and they admitted to better thinking abilities and better reaction time and better overall wellness time. So I don't have the papers in front of me. I'm not selling it on this in this situation. I'm saying that's what's being launched tonight. And I'm giving your streaming audience a little bit of a heads up that that's coming. So how long is Clubhouse going to last?
Well, they'll have it open for an hour, but if you want to do less than that, Clubhouse is kind of an open house. You can come and go as you please, and
I see.
Do whatever you want with it. Yeah,
I see.
But if you want the whole thing, it's an hour.
Yeah. Okay. So, I will try. And does that mean you're signing off in 10 minutes instead of at 2:15, which is fine?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to be a little bit more 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, both on Wednesdays, we're following the H&P schedule on the co-host side, or at least captain side, where we log in at like 12:57 and then stop at 1:57, because on Wednesdays we have our H&P nonprofit. And so we want to end the podcast right before Denise Vargas opens up H&P nonprofit as the captain at minute 57. So we're trying to shift a little bit to be a little bit more in the workflow of the neighborhood. So.
No, but the rule,
the original. Yeah, the scheduling you see with Compassionate Citizens going to 3:15 is that was originally just giving a little bit of leeway that if things ran long, that people weren't surprised. And then plus to show that, there's a welcome to staying after. So we're going to be on Clubhouse. So, I mean, this could still stay open and we're on Clubhouse as well, but we're just not going to be facilitating it real well because we'll be distracted by the Clubhouse event. Okay,
makes sense. Especially since Edwin is canceling everything on Friday, so everybody can show up for the event. He's canceled the entire day. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably a good thing. I'm wondering how many computers will be vying for time on Friday? In other words, if your computer is not hooked up to the world, how much can one little computer hook up and be effective and whatever?
Well, for the event, Edwin is structuring it for 1,000 users of the event on Friday. So
Yeah,
how
that's
that'll be at any particular minute, and like what hours, busier hours for those that are just catching an hour, 3, I don't know how that'll shake out, but I'm guessing that the earlier hours will be the more popular hours, but you never know.
Mhm.
We'll have to
Mhm.
wait.
I would think so. Once you get past 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, people saying, weekend,
Yeah.
see you later. Especially those that have families.
Yep. You got
Yep.
it.
Okay. Okay. Did your daughter get off the bus okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty easy going. And so yeah, it's a pretty calm, nice day. It's about 66 degrees here. And
Oh,
so it's just a
okay.
nice Wisconsin day. And so I didn't have to deal with rain or anything like that. So yeah, pretty good. And I grab our dog Minnie, and so we got Minnie on the leash, and so Minnie does a little dance. She gets on her hind legs, and then her front paws are like up into the air as the buses come.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. I've
Yeah,
seen
she
some of
gets
your
all- she
shakedown
gets all
too. It's very
excited.
interesting.
Yeah, she gets all excited to see Alana. She hasn't seen Alana all day.
Yeah. So our Alana is kind of a big deal in this house. We call her Alana Tainment. That's kind of her street name, Alana Tainment.
I'm sure she really enjoys lads.
Right? Yeah, she grew up into that. 12 years of entertainment so far.
Well, she has you and Sue as parents, so I can
Yeah, we're a
I
pair.
can imagine.
We're a
At
pair.
least you as a parent. So
Okay. I would be interested in a formalization of nonprofit to accept anybody who wishes to say, okay, over a period of time, and I'm not going to take too long because I know you want to sign off in about a minute or two. There should be a formalization where the nonprofits take on people who want to commit their income to being a steady customer of the nonprofits. I was discussing this with Alan Raisman. I want to talk to him a little more about it. And it's too bad that all of your surrounding efforts are for profit. If it was nonprofit, you can sign up as many people that would give over their income to give you a steady stream, maybe small change, who knows? But at least it's something you can start and build on. Okay, but I was not aware that you guys were for profit. But
Well,
that's
the
okay.
Disability Channel is, but Onward and Upward is a nonprofit.
Okay.
So when Anne Marie Oblivion founded Onward and Upward Inc. is
Okay.
a 501c3 charitable organization,
Right.
mission to respond to people experiencing homelessness and houselessness, our veterans, and doing so through employment resources and having information on where they can get shelter and stuff like that.
Okay, so if I can get some people to commit, can they contact you and you can give them some definite word or words of wisdom?
Absolutely. Happy to.
Okay. Okay, because I think it would be a good thing to do, especially if it brings us more Adams and everybody else, and exposes them to being out there. And this is a safe venue. So, and as long as they can do that, and people like Adam can work in what they do, and they can return the income to the nonprofit to build it up. And that's really what I was aiming for, not to say I'm great or I'm going to give you $1 million. If I could, I would, but that's not the point. It's for returning those that are considered disabled. And yet you're saying, here I am.
Yep.
I can do this.
Yep.
Okay. Molly gives out her story all the time. Adam
Yep.
is more than capable. Emily is more than capable. And you have all these people that can do it.
Yep.
And they could then help their friends, families, whatever they want to call
Yeah.
them. They can help Commodore Kurt keep his position in Starfleet Command. And they could say, this is how we want to return what we were given. And this is all I'm saying, Kurt. So I'll shut up and let you guys sign off and go to whatever. And that's really why I keep bringing up, because some of your colleagues, some of your clients can return and give back. It does not have to be people like you and I that are quote unquote normal, although I doubt sometimes whether I am normal. But it's for those that understand that can give back. That's all.
Okay, well, let's keep working on it. Emily, keep plugging away on it. And what do you have for our conclusion, Emily?
All right. So thank you for having me. You guys can sign off.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. All
Thanks.
right. You guys, thank you.
Yep.
Say goodnight to Marion for me.
Yes.
All right, Emily, you want to do the sign off?
Yeah, I was just going to, just wanted to thank everybody who tuned in today, and for our wonderful guests that showed up today. And to please tune in next week, same day, same time, same place. Over to you, Kurt.
All right. Adam, did you have anything before we finish?
Nope. I just want to let everybody know this will be out on the radio in the next month or two. We're getting close to start publishing our station. So you'll not only see us on video, but you'll get easier access to these shows on audio.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Adam. And just a little bit of an offer for people to check out if they haven't already, or if they did it once before and didn't catch it all, to go back to worldofability.com/shows. That's where we got a few of our shows, Compassionate Citizens, Prosperity Pathways, and World of Ability on there, to give you a little background in terms of how the World of Ability Podcast Network is coming together. And that's the foundation to which we're adding on shows. If anybody has any interests to start their own show and want to contact us, definitely can contact me. My name is Kurt, and my email address is Kurt, K-U-R-T, at thedisabilitychannel.us. And my phone number, you can call and text me, 262-372-1SKI. That's 262-372-1754. And so that'll be a wrap. Thank you for watching the World of Ability Podcast Network with the Compassionate Citizens Podcast. Hope to see you next week, and also on